Democritus was an ancient Greek pre-Socratic philosopher from Abdera, primarily remembered today for his formulation of an atomic theory of the universe. Democritus wrote extensively on a wide variety of topics. Nothing exists except atoms and empty space. Everything else is opinion. Happiness resides not in possessions and not in gold. Happiness dwells in the soul. Everywhere, man blames nature and fate, yet his fate is mostly but the echo of his character and passion, his mistakes and his weaknesses. Nature and education are somewhat similar. The latter transforms man, and in so doing creates a second nature. The wise man belongs to all countries, for the home of a great soul is the whole world. The brave man is he who overcomes not only his enemies, but his pleasures. Everything existing in the universe is the fruit of chance and necessity. We think there is color, we think there is sweet, we think there is bitter, but in reality there are atoms and a void. It is hard to fight desire, but to control it is the sign of a reasonable man. People sometimes rationalize their greed by saying that it is all for the good of their children, but this is nothing but an excuse they use to make their despicable actions appear respectable and praiseworthy. Good means not merely not to do wrong, but rather not to desire to do wrong. Sweet exists by convention, bitter by convention, color by convention, but in reality, atoms and the void alone exist. Magnanimity consists in enduring tactlessness with mildness. The brave man is not only he who overcomes the enemy, but he who is stronger than pleasures. Some men are masters of cities, but are enslaved to women. According to convention, there is a sweet and a bitter, a hot and a cold, and according to convention, there is an order. In truth, there are atoms and a void. Throw moderation to the winds, and the greatest pleasures bring the greatest pains. Medicine heals diseases of the body. Wisdom frees the soul from passions. The good things of life are produced by learning with hard work. The bad are reaped of their own accord, without hard work. Beautiful objects are wrought by study through effort, but ugly things are reaped automatically without toil. There are some men who are masters of cities but slaves to women. The pride of youth is in strength and beauty. The pride of old age is in discretion. To a wise man, the whole earth is open, for the native land of a good soul is the whole earth. No power and no treasure can outweigh the extension of our knowledge. Poor mind. From the senses, you take your arguments and then want to defeat them. Your victory is your defeat. Raising children is an uncertain thing. Success is reached only after a life of battle and worry. Do not trust all men, but trust men of worth. The former course is silly, the latter a mark of prudence. If your desires are not great, a little will seem much to you, for small appetite makes poverty equivalent to wealth. Whatever a poet writes with enthusiasm and a divine inspiration is very fine. Earliest reference to the madness or divine inspiration of poets. Men have made an idol of luck as an excuse for their own thoughtlessness. Happiness does not reside in strength or money. It lies in rightness and many-sidedness. If thou suffer injustice, console thyself. The true unhappiness is in doing it. It is godlike ever to think on something beautiful and on something new. The whole earth is at the hand of the wise man, since the fatherland of an elevated soul is the universe. The person who can laugh with life has developed deep roots with confidence and faith in oneself, in people, and in the world, as contrasted to negative ideas with distrust and discouragement. Men have fashioned an image of chance as an excuse for their own stupidity, for chance rarely conflicts with intelligence, and most things in life can be set in order by an intelligent sharp-sightedness. Education is an ornament for the prosperous, a refuge for the unfortunate. By convention sweet and by convention bitter, by convention hot, by convention cold, by convention color, but in reality atoms and void. To speak but little becomes a woman, and she is best adorned who is in plain attire. To a wise man, the whole earth is open because the country of a virtuous soul is the entire universe. The first principles of the universe are atoms and empty space. Everything else is merely thought to exist. Disease of the home and of the life comes about in the same way as that of the body. One great difference between a wise man and a fool is, the former only wishes for what he may possibly obtain, the latter desires impossibilities. Poverty in a democracy is as much to be preferred to what is called prosperity under despots as freedom is to slavery. Good breeding in cattle depends on physical health, but in men on a well-formed character. The man who is fortunate in his choice of son-in-law gains a son. The man unfortunate in his choice loses his daughter also. One man means as much to me as a multitude, and a multitude only as much as one man. Coition is a slight attack of apoplexy, for man gushes forth from man and is separated by being torn apart with a kind of blow. Men find happiness neither by means of the body nor through possessions, but through uprightness and wisdom. The laws would not prevent each man from living according to his inclination unless individuals harmed each other, for envy creates the beginning of strife. Now as of old, the gods give men all good things, excepting only those that are baneful and injurious and useless. These, now as of old, are not gifts of the gods. Men stumble into them themselves because of their own blindness and folly. These differences, they say, are three: shape, arrangement, and position, because they hold that what is differs only in contour, intercontact, inclination. Fortune provides a man's table with luxuries, virtue with only a frugal meal. You can tell the man who rings true from the man who rings false, not by his deeds alone, but also his desires. We know nothing truly about anything, but for each of us, opining is a rearrangement of soul atoms. Men ask for health in their prayers to the gods. They do not realize that the power to achieve it lies in themselves. Lacking self-control, they perform contrary actions and betray health to their desires. Nature and teaching are closely related, for teaching reforms a person, and by reforming, remakes his nature. No one regards the things before his feet, but views with care the regions of the sky. If the body were to take the soul to court for the pains and suffering it had endured throughout its life, then if he were to be on the jury for the case, he would gladly cast his vote against the soul, inasmuch as it had destroyed some parts of the body by negligence or dissipated them by drunkenness, and had ruined and ravaged other parts by its pursuit of pleasures, just as he would blame the careless user if a tool or utensil were in a bad condition.